Welcome back to Funding Friday. We got a cheeky little extra for you today to celebrate Global Entrepreneurship Week. We have been doing a whole week of activities. We call it EntFest. It's a whole week. We started off with a collaboration event with Gen UK, who created Global Entrepreneurship Week. We did a launch event in London. Tuesday, we ran Moneyfest across the Midlands, where we brought all of our funders and financiers together to upskill our community on how to get hold of money to grow their business. And then yesterday we ran Talent Fest, which was all about procurement for the supply chain internally at NatWest. Today has been Change Fest, which is all about the Time to Change report to better support ethnic minority entrepreneurs. And tomorrow we go into Pitch Fest. So it has been a whopper of a week. And through the week of travels, I was lucky enough to stumble across this initiative from Enterprise Nation. I have a couple of guests joining me today who very graciously agreed to jump on at the 11th hour to promote something very exciting that runs out next week. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce today's guests to find out about this very exciting opportunity that ties in perfectly with Change Fest today. So Montell, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, my name is Montell. I'm the program coordinator at Enterprise Nation, and I'm proud to be involved in this project for the app for Uber Black Restaurant Fund. It's an amazing project, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to it.
Amazing, thank you so much. And Lisa, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, Debbie, and thanks so much for having us on at the 11th hour. We're really excited to be here and happy Entrepreneurship Week to everybody. So yeah, my name's Lisa. I'm one of the program managers at Enterprise Nation. We've got a lot of programs and projects running. The Uber Black Business Fund is one of them. But a little bit about Enterprise Nation is we are the UK's largest and most active small business network. We've got something like over 500,000 members all across the UK, all starting businesses, running businesses, thinking about starting businesses. A really fun, lovely community of entrepreneurs, and we run all kinds of activity to support them. We run events every day, online, in person. We've got a big entrepreneurship festival happening early next year called Startup UK. We have a whole pool of amazing advisors, business advisors, who are all experts in all kinds of areas of business support. We've got a funding hub where businesses can find out about finance options that are available to them. We've got local groups on the ground for networking, for small businesses to connect to each other, amongst loads and loads of other stuff. But we also run projects and programs with some of the world's largest brands for small businesses, and that one of which is why we're here today to talk to you.
Amazing. So you mentioned Uber. Is this the first time you've worked with them on a project like this?
Can I take this one, Montell? Okay. So it is not. So it's the second time we've run this funding. We've actually had a partnership with Uber for a number of years, working on all kinds of different projects. We have a restaurant hub with them. We had an initiative that supported Uber drivers to start their own business. But the Black Business Fund is something that we rolled out in partnership with Uber and an organisation called Be Inclusive Hospitality, who are a non-profit CIC that helps support underrepresented and marginalised restaurant owners across the UK. But we rolled it out last year, the Black Business Fund with Uber. We had a prize pool of £50,000. It went really well. We had 10 amazing restaurants win that funding to help grow their business in response to the fallout from the pandemic and everything that business owners faced from that. This year, because it went so well, we're upping the fund, and Uber have decided to 5 times the amount. So from going from £50,000, it's now £250,000, which is incredible. So we're able to allocate that evenly across 25 restaurants. So that's the grant. So 25 businesses will have access to a grant of £10,000. And this is part of a wider global initiative from Uber, who've got a pool of something like $10 million they're allocating to restaurants who are minority owned.
Brilliant. What an incredible opportunity. So you mentioned restaurants, you've mentioned Black founders, you've mentioned a whopping pot of money and a short deadline. So let's get the details. Who wants to run me through the nitty-gritty?
Go for it, Montell.
Perfect. So the requirements that we're looking for, I mean, doing it case by case, but we're looking for Black-owned restaurants with a maximum of 3 locations. And the deadline is for November the 20th and 25th. Again, we are looking for restaurants that possibly been hit with the pandemic, but we're also looking for restaurants that are looking to grow and, you know, have a benefit towards the community. So again, we're judging it case by case, and some of the applications I've read, it's around eight questions for that application, but some of the applications I've already read, it's, I would say it's sad because some of them, a lot of the restaurants, we had the pandemic, but they've just about recovered from the pandemic. But now you have the living crisis on top of that, so it's a lot of struggle going out there. But I love the intentions of we're still trying to go, we're still striving to be who we are. So yeah.
What a great opportunity. And you're quite right. The cost of doing business, the cost of living on top of everything else that businesses, particularly the hospitality sector, have faced recently, it's been crippling. So I love that they are doing this. So let's just really nail down the eligibility criteria. So you've already mentioned restaurant owners, Black founders, 3 or fewer sites, independently owned. Are there any other criteria? Do they need to have been established a certain amount of time? Do they have to have a certain number of employees, or have we got any detail on that?
It's pretty wide, like as Montell mentioned, the founders must be Black owned. And if you can see on our T's and C's on the website what that exactly means, because there's always a little bit of confusion, and we actually ran a webinar a couple of weeks ago where we're having a lot of questions, and a lot of business owners are saying, oh, I'm not sure if I was allowed to apply because my mother's white and my father's Black. Absolutely. I mean, it's a very easy, simple process, and it's the way you identify on the eligibility criteria, but it's pretty wide. I'd recommend anyone check it out. But yes, so the restaurants must be Black owned, they must have been trading for at least 18 months, and registered with Companies House or have a sole trader UTR number.
Okay, amazing. So it's not restricted to limited companies only. If you are a sole trader, as long as you're registered, you can apply for that. Amazing.
Absolutely.
This sounds like a cracking initiative. Geographically, are we restricted? Is this open to the whole of the UK, just to England, just to the Midlands?
Yeah, it's for the whole of the UK, and we're aiming to have at least half of the people who receive the grant from outside the UK. So I mean, outside London. So again, that is amazing.
Yeah, and covering the Midlands and East of England, I'm clapping along to that. What a brilliant set of criteria. So talk to me a little bit about, if you can, without naming names of applicants, what are the sort of things that people are asking to use this money towards? Are there restrictions on the use of the grant?
No, and we welcome anyone to apply. We'd like as much detail on possible. Like some of the application questions ask for what they intend, how they've been affected by the pandemic and cost of living crisis, and what they intend to use the money for. There's a whole range of, there's no stipulations on how you spend the money, and we're just curious and interested to see, how they would respond, what they need the money for, and how they'd use it. And we're also really interested in how it would have impact on their local community as well. There's a question around community impact and if they'd allocate the money to support any of that kind of activity. But applications have completely differ from case by case. Some people need money to allocate to staffing costs. Some people want to expand their sites. Some people need a refurb. Some restaurants need a total, marketing revamp, branding. But there's a lot. I mean, because it's such a significant amount of money, £10,000. There's a lot you can do with that. So we really welcome as much detail as possible in those applications.
Brilliant. And the £10,000 grant, this isn't match funded, is it? This is 100% funded, gifted. The entrepreneur, the founder, doesn't have to put any money of their own towards it. Is that right?
No, it's 100%. The money is coming directly from Uber, who are paying the £10,000 to each restaurant.
Crikey, it doesn't get any better than that, does it? So in terms of access and filling out the forms, we recognise that 60% of UK entrepreneurs will recognise themselves as neurodivergent. Many founders will struggle to fill in lengthy application forms. So what's the application process like, and how much help can you give them to navigate that?
Can I?
Yeah, go for it, Montell.
Perfect. So it's 8 questions, but I'll say 2 of them is we don't expect any lengthy questions. We just want, if you can, just put it in bullet points of first of all the question of how you've been impacted by this. We're not asking like 10 lines. Possibly if you put it into 3 or 4 bullet points on how you've been affected and your current situation, and then the question on what will you be doing with this grant. Again, we were just like 3 to 4 lines. You don't need to write a huge summary. Again, and for the next stage, we are going to be doing a video call, so it'll be more easier for people to express verbally on what they're going through, but also what they look to do, what they're looking to do with that money.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's a super easy application. Like Montell, like Montell said, it's something like 8 questions. It shouldn't take more than 5 minutes to complete. You don't have to upload any documentation or any proofs. The questions are based on who you are, where you're based, where your restaurant is based, and how you've been affected by not only the pandemic but the cost of living crisis, but also how you intend to spend the money and what impact that would have on your local community. And then we'll shortlist, we'll go through all the applications, and like Montell said, we'll then invite that shortlist to submit a really short 2-minute, 3-minute video, just so we can get literally more of a flavour of who they are and what their restaurant is about. And that will go to the final panel early December. So applicants should know the outcome by early December.
What a beautiful Christmas present.
Yes.
I would not want the tough job of doing that shortlist. I don't envy you for that. And in terms of if people have questions, so I recognise we've already looked at that ethnic demographic. We might have questions around maybe they've got a pop-up restaurant that's not a standard bricks and mortar store, or they're part of a collective who are sharing a space potentially. I'm trying to think of all of the businesses that I'm in touch with who might have questions. Who can they ask? How do they reach out?
Absolutely. Contact hello@Enterprise Nation. That's probably your best port of call. And any questions around eligibility, the application process, whether they need extra support in applying, we're more than happy to help.
Amazing. Thanks, Lisa. So that address, hello@enterprisenation.com is the email address. And where can they find out the details of the grant if they want to go away and read about it before they make a decision to connect with you?
Sure. You can head to our website, which is enterprisenation.com, and it will be /Uber/black-business-fund. And that's where all the information sits, and the link to the application form.
And if anybody's listening thinking, I did not get that catchy URL, don't fret. I'm going to pop it in the comments if this is on social media. I'm also going to put it in the bio on the podcast and the YouTube channel. So you will be able to get just one click, copy and paste to be able to submit. I cannot believe how easy that sounds and how phenomenal it sounds. So thank you. Is there anything we haven't covered that you guys would like to get across before we close, or any advice, top tips that you want to speak?
I would like to express the importance of this grant. Again, there has been recent research that suggests that Black business owners, their biggest concern is taking on debt, and this is free money basically. So I think the approach of Black-owned businesses approaching banks and stuff, I'm not saying we're putting a stop to it. I'm not saying that, but this is another solution, and it's a more friendly solution as well. I just want to demonstrate one of our past alumni. Her name's Chloe Bailey Williams, owner of the Break House, and she was one of the people that received the 5K grant from last round. And basically she was having a hard time just staying afloat, and that money basically helped her just get through that times. And now she's having open mics at her restaurant, and she's got her main full menu back in our restaurant, because again, before she wasn't able to have all the foods that listed. So again, it's some incredible stories, and it's a great feeling that we're able to provide this. It's a great feeling.
Well done to Chloe for taking action and reaching out. But it does also lead me to another question. If somebody applied last time, whether they were successful or unsuccessful, can they reapply this time?
They can, yes, they absolutely can. And anyone who's thinking of applying, please do check out the website. But if they, for whatever reason, decide not to, please become an Enterprise Nation member. You can access all of our support and other resources on there. And not only do, for the people who are applying to the grant, if they are a successful finalist, not only do they receive the funding, but we'll also be providing access to mentoring as well, and all the other, whatever else support they need in terms of running their business as well, with guidance, advice, supports, and so forth.
Amazing. And on that note, if you have not yet downloaded the Time to Change report, the Time to Change report was created over 18 months with Aston University to help us better support ethnic minority entrepreneurs. There's some fabulous initiatives in there that any organisation can pick up, upskill, and also roll out. And this is just a brilliant link into that. So thank you for coming on and sharing this brilliant grant initiative. I really hope that our listeners will take action on this. Now, they have only got until the 25th of November. So that's about a week. It will be closing. Is that end of day, 5 o'clock, midnight? Do we know the details? If not, it's on the website, right?
It's on the website, but you've got until next week, Friday the 25th, and the application form will close at midnight. So please get your application in before then.
Amazing. Midnight on the Friday or midnight on the Thursday before the Friday? Just to clarify.
Midnight on the Friday night.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you so much. Any final tips before we sign off?
No, just go for it and good luck.
Exactly.
Thank you both so much, Montell and Lisa from Enterprise Nation, for joining me on my virtual sofa for this week's Funding Friday. Remember to leave the ladder down. If you've benefited from any of the grants on any of the episodes, please do share them and share the series with your network, because there's an awful lot of money out there and we just want to make sure that people know that it's available. So this is a short one. You've got to take action this week. I'm not going to hold you up any longer. Click the link and get applying. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.